It all started with a stolen package, and it ended with Karen, the self-appointed queen of our HOA, being dragged away in handcuffs while her once luxurious Lexus sat in my driveway still splattered neon pink like some kind of Barbie nightmare. I never imagined a simple trap on my porch would spiral into the most chaotic suburban war I'd ever fought. But that's exactly what happened, and the craziest part? It all began with me just wanting to enjoy a quiet Saturday morning. I had ordered a few things: new hiking gear, a coffee grinder, some tools to fix the leaning section of my backyard fence. But tucked among those boxes was my masterpiece, a decoy package filled with a dye bomb I had tested the night before. Bright, vicious fuchsia, the kind of color that doesn't wash off. I set it on my porch like bait, sipping my coffee as I watched from the window. Sure enough, Karen showed up. Mid-40s blonde bob with tacky highlights, oversized sunglasses she wore like a shield of authority. She strutted down the street from her shiny Lexus as if she owned the block. No hesitation. She scooped up the package like my porch was her personal supply closet. And the moment that box hit her back seat, boom, pink dye sprayed everywhere. Her car, her sweater, her face, even her precious hair. She screamed so loud a dog across the street started barking. I nearly choked on my coffee, and when I stepped out pretending to look concerned, all I said was, "Everything okay, Karen?" She sputtered something about vandalism, threatening to call the HOA. I told her she might want to call the police instead because package theft is, an actual crime. I thought that would be it, a one-time humiliation. But I underestimated her. Karen didn't just hold grudges, she weaponized them. 2 days later, I came home to find an official HOA notice taped to my door. A $250 fine for hazardous materials creating unsafe conditions. I actually laughed out loud. She stole my package, trashed her own car, and somehow I was the one fined. Classic HOA power play. That's when the real war began. From that moment on, my life turned into a carousel of bogus citations. Too many lawn ornaments. Grass half an inch too tall. A trash can visible from the street. Each notice came with Karen's fingerprints all over it, though she never signed her name. It was her style fight through bureaucracy grind people down until they surrendered. And she didn't stop with paperwork. One night I caught her crouched by my fence with scissors cutting my internet cables. Another morning my sprinkler system had been tampered with, control box ripped open, wires dangling, water blasting against my windows at 5 a.m. Another day I stepped outside to find my trash cans tipped over pink footprints leading straight back to her driveway. That's when doubt started creeping in. Sitting at my kitchen table with another HOA fine in hand, I actually asked myself, had I gone too far? Maybe the dye bomb had been reckless. Maybe I was just feeding her chaos. Part of me wanted to give in, pay the fines, ignore her, stop fighting. She was relentless, and I was exhausted. But then I caught her red-handed. Literally. My camera picked up Karen in the middle of the night, crouched with a pair of scissors about to cut my lines again. I stepped out, my voice cutting through the dark. "Need help with that, Karen?" She froze like a deer in headlights and bolted. I sent the footage to the police. They didn't arrest her, but they gave her a stern warning right there on her lawn. Her mask cracked. For the first time, the neighborhood saw her as a saboteur, not a queen. That was the moment I decided I wasn't going to fold. If Karen wanted war, I'd fight it my way with patience, evidence, and a little bit of strategy. But Karen didn't retreat. She doubled down. One Sunday afternoon, she rolled into the cul-de-sac in a rented excavator of all things. Oversized sunglasses still perched on her nose, grin twisted across her face. She drove that machine straight into my front yard. Neighbors spilled out of their houses, phones in hand, gasping as she tore up my lawn, screaming over the engine. "This is payback. You humiliated me." I didn't rush to stop her. I just pulled out my phone and hit record. When she finally cut the engine, panting and sweaty, I called across the yard, calm as ever. "Thanks for admitting to vandalism, Karen." The crowd went silent. She realized too late what she'd just done. The police arrived minutes later. They found my yard cratered, my fence splintered, and half the neighborhood holding video evidence. Karen tried to spin it, ranting about self-defense conspiracies, how I had set her up. The officer just shook his head. "Ma'am, driving an excavator through someone's yard isn't self-defense." And just like that, they cuffed her. The cheers from the crowd were almost as loud as her screaming. She was carted off, but the damage was done, her reputation shattered. She wasn't the HOA queen anymore. She was Excavator Karen. Viral. Meme-worthy. A punchline. But Karen wasn't finished. Oh no. Even from the depths of humiliation, she tried one more angle, a lawsuit. Civil action against me for emotional distress, defamation, and sabotage. I couldn't believe it, but I didn't flinch. My lawyer filed a countersuit, trespassing, theft, vandalism, harassment. We had mountains of evidence. Court day came. Her lawyer painted me as some vindictive neighbor who set traps and manipulated the whole community. I sat there calm, letting him ramble. Then my lawyer pressed play. Clip after clip filled the courtroom. Karen. Stealing packages, cutting wires, tipping trash, screaming about payback on an excavator. The judge's eyebrows rose higher with every video. When it ended, there was no doubt. Karen's lawsuit dismissed. My countersuit moved forward. She stormed out of the courtroom, sunglasses failing to hide the fury in her eyes. You'd think that would finally be the end. But Karen had one last desperate swing left. One humid Friday night, my doorbell camera lit up. There she was, hood pulled low, crouched with a gasoline can in hand. My stomach dropped. This wasn't petty vandalism anymore, this was arson. She splashed fuel along my fence line, muttering to herself, fumbling with a lighter. I called the police voice steady, even though my heart was pounding. Within minutes, sirens split the night. Red and blue lights flooded the cul-de-sac. Officers leapt from their cruisers, guns drawn. "Drop it. Step away from the fence." Karen froze lighter in hand, eyes wide. The entire neighborhood watching from their windows. She screamed, ranted about conspiracies, claimed she was the victim. But it was over. They cuffed her again, hauling her away as she kicked and wailed. That was the breaking point. The HOA stripped her voting rights. Neighbors petitioned to have her removed entirely. And within weeks, she was gone. Her house foreclosed. Her Lexus, still faintly stained pink, towed away. The cul-de-sac, finally quiet. I didn't celebrate. I just sat on my porch with a cup of coffee, watching a new package sit untouched by my door. For the first time in months, it stayed there until I picked it up. And that's when it hit me, people like Karen don't destroy you. They destroy themselves. All you have to do is let them.